room is beautiful. Let's have a look at the view. Ooh, all right. They left a little box on the windowsill. Let's open it. A room with a stunning view. Oh, that's so cute. They gave little binoculars. That's pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure you could open the window. Maybe. Oh, I just want to check what this little pamphlet says. Oh, okay, cool. It tells you like all of the things that you can find, I guess. That is so cool. All right, let's see if we can see anything. I know I haven't shown you guys the view yet, but it only opens like this much, which I don't mind, to be honest with you. How do I adjust this? Like, you're supposed to be able to make this focus a little bit, right? Okay. It's too hard to see anything when it's dark, but that is so cool. I've stayed at like hotels with nice views, but this is a nice touch. I don't know if you guys can see the view. You can just see me right now, but if you have a little look, it is an ocean view room. I'm a little disappointed at like their coffee selection. Look at that. That's not so great. Like Sweden is known a little for their coffee, but there's no Nespresso machine. That sucks. Oh, they give an adapter. That's very nice. I appreciate that. Sometimes you just like never know what you're gonna get with these hotels in Europe, because it really all just depends on like the place that you're going. So for example, like we stayed at this really nice hotel in Zurich. It was right on like the river, and it was absolutely stunning. Amazing views. I'll try to put a picture up if I can, but the room was teeny tiny and it was just so expensive and crazy like pricing. And then even like I think it was like 30 euros like extra as a fee if you wanted room service. Oh, you know what I love? I love the little flowers. They gave a little vase of flowers. Just like stunning view. Unfortunately, I can't sit on this windowsill, but I can do like a little corner view for you guys. It looks pretty cool. A little note. Dear Das, that's not my name. Welcome to Hotel Riesen. We're thrilled to have you here and hope you will have a pleasant story. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to contact our friendly front desk by dialing 9. Thank you for choosing us. Best regards, Team Riesen. That's nice, but that's not my name. We gave some candy and some water, which I hope is complimentary at some point because I usually drink a lot of water. It feels like so cool to be staying in a room like this that like I paid for with the money that I made with a business that was like my idea that came out of my head. It's so cool. And I remember like when I first started traveling, like staying at like the most like basic places. And I remember at one time like I did like a trip with like 30 or 40 other people where we did like went somewhere and like built a school kind of thing, and one of the girls on the trip was just staying at like this really nice hotel, this really nice suite, and I was just like, whoa, like one day I can do that kind of for myself. It's just so cool to be like not just like any random hotel, it's a suite, but just like at this beautiful property and get like a corner room with this beautiful view in Stockholm, like, and I just did that myself, like gave this little experience to myself. For right now, here's a shot of the bed. I'm so excited. I feel like it was just a really lucky day the past couple of days and just been like an amazing trip. And this is my last city. Can you believe that? This is my last city on this trip. So far I've been to 4 countries. This is my 5th country on this trip. Actually, I do have a stopover in Helsinki, but holy guacamole. But my trip is almost over. I'm in the last city and I did this all by myself. Like so many emotions in my head right now, but the biggest emotion is the fact that I'm sleepy. So let's go to bed together. I mean, I'm going to bed and you guys are going to watch me. first place we're going to explore today is the Nobel Prize Museum, which is located right in the heart of Old Town. I got here just as the museum was opening, but as you can see, there's already a little bit of a queue. The entrance fee is 150 Swedish krona, and that does include a complimentary tour. The tour does have limited spots and it gets booked out pretty quickly, which is why I'm guessing there's a long queue here. So make sure you get here well ahead of time if you want a spot. The tours run in English and Swedish. I recommend checking out their website to see when the tours are on, just because it changes depending on the season. With the tour, you get a little headset that you just pop on and you can hear your guide a lot better as they guide you through the museum. The museum itself is not very big and it could easily be done in 1 or 2 hours. I did find having the guide pretty enjoyable because there was just so much about the Nobel Prize that I did not know anything about. The displays in the museum are actually pieces that are brought in by the Nobel Prize winners. I do wish the displays talked a little bit more about the actual inventions or findings of each of the winners and not just their possessions, because I realized a lot of the winners I had no idea who they were. The most interesting part of the museum was the little movie theater that they had, and they played short movies of each of the discoveries and how it's impacted our life today. There is also a cafe here if you want to grab a bite to eat. However, I'm going to be stepping outside because I'm craving a cinnamon roll. I found a place right across from the museum itself, so I'm going to pop in and grab something for takeaway. They're so good. Here at the Avicii Experience, which is like a tribute museum to Tim Berling, or better known as Avicii. I paid about 230 Swedish krona for entry to the museum. It is quite small, but there are a lot of interactive things that you can do here. There's a little VR space, but honestly, I could not figure out how this VR thing works, so I just moved on. There's lots of little exhibitions about his life, how he came up with music, how he became as big as he did. But on this particular day, there was a group of school students that were visiting the museum at the same time, and honestly, it was not a vibe being in there with them. I actually ended up just moving through a lot of the exhibitions really fast. They were just really naughty, as school kids are, and as someone in their 30s, it was just not a vibe for me. I moved on and I found this little club concert simulation, which was a lot of fun and completely took me back to my early 20s party concert going days. I did end up buying a few little souvenirs here for my husband. It was pretty expensive, so I don't know if I would recommend anything from here. It is pretty standard cotton sweatshirt, t-shirt type of things. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pop in my headphones and we're going to head to lunch.
no entry fee or need to register to enter the library. And just like the library that we visited in Riga, you do have to keep all of your things in a locker before you enter. However, unlike the library that we visited in Riga, here it seems more set up for people to study and not really set up for people to visit. I actually did not intend on visiting this library. I had another one in mind, but I entered the wrong address on Google Maps, which led me to here. I wouldn't recommend going out of your way to visit this particular library. However, if you're nearby, if it's raining, or you just wanted to sit and chill for a little bit, this would be a nice place to relax and take a little break. We're pretty much done exploring for today. Right now, I'm gonna jump in a cab because we're gonna do a little bit of shopping. I'm not walking there because it is quite far and I'm running short on time. I want to make it before the stores close. The first store I'm visiting is a kids store called Mini Rodini. This is a Swedish brand and I'm hoping to find some cute little things for Gigi.
Back in the hotel room and I'm officially so exhausted. That was like a lot of walking around. Actually, you know what? It wasn't a lot of walking around. It was more so like the hauling of the shopping bags around. That at the end of it just really got to me. I did have dinner plans. I was supposed to go to this hot dog place, but the hot dog place is like where I went shopping, and that's how I initially arranged it. I was supposed to go shopping at Acne and Mini Rodini, and then from there I was supposed to go to this hot dog place. And the hot dog place is like an outdoor kind of thing. You line up, you just stand and eat. I didn't want to like have all of my stuff and then be trying to eat this hot dog. So, but now I'm thinking, do I go to that hot dog place or do I just have something nearby? Because we're in a good place right now. I'm in the location that I'm in, it's called Gamla. It's the old town area. So there's lots of good food, and I do have a place picked here for dinner tomorrow. So I'm like, do I just have the dinner now? Like whatever I had booked for tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of research. One, how far is it to the hot dog place? And then if it's like worth going, I know it'll be worth going. Apparently it's delicious. Or two, if there's anything nearby I should try. I do wanna have an early night tonight. Can I just get one of the
Sausage in a bun?
yeah, sausage in a bun, and then just the Swedish lingonberry.
Yep, okay.
Thank you.
Good morning. It is day 2 in Stockholm and we have the entire day to explore. I have quite a few things planned for the day and we're starting off with a self-guided audio tour of Stockholm Old Town. For the tour, I'm going to be using the app Voice app. This is completely not sponsored. I first tried it out in Vilnius, absolutely loved it. Did a tour of Warsaw with the app as well, absolutely loved it. And here we are in Stockholm. On the app, you can choose from a range of different audio tours depending on what your interests are. Some of the tours are focused on history, some are focused on art, some are focused on architecture. This one mainly focuses on Old Town and a little bit of history of Stockholm. One other thing that I really like about it is that the app will guide you from different landmarks that you have to go to, and you can just put your phone away in your bag and the app will tell you to walk straight, take a left, and how to find each landmark. You can of course refer back to the app and have a look on the map if you get a little lost, but this allows me just to put my phone away, not be constantly holding on to it, and really be in the moment. The other thing that I like and why I kind of prefer this over joining like a guided tour is that you just really go at your own pace. So if sometimes I want to spend a little bit longer taking pictures somewhere, taking a few new clips, or want to explore something a little bit more deeper, I can do that. I just have to pause the app. I can spend a little bit of extra time and do my own thing. I paid about 900 rupees, or I think that's $12 USD for today's tour. I get to keep the tour for a lifetime and I can even refer back to it later on or do it again if I'm ever back in Stockholm. For lunch today, we are at Meatballs for the People. Now, before you come at me in the comments, this is definitely not a place that the locals would go. However, I'm definitely not a local and I'm just visiting here for 2 days and this came highly recommended. I did have to make a reservation from beforehand and I highly recommend that you do so because this place is known to get really packed. I had one of the first reservations of the day, which is why it's very empty right now, but towards when I was leaving, the place did start to get really busy. I've seen a lot of reviews online by locals that say that it is overpriced and not the best meatballs that they've had. However, the reason why I chose this place is because that they have a huge variety of different types of meats. I don't particularly enjoy eating a lot of beef, and this is one of the only places that did chicken meatballs. If you're vegetarian or vegan, they also have a vegan option, including a vegan gravy as well.
guys, it's about 11 p.m. and I have finished packing. It was a struggle just to like Tetris everything in, and I am worried that when they ask me to take everything out to show for what is it called? For like tax-free, yeah, for tax-free, that it's gonna become a mess again. But I tried to pack as strategically as possible, so all of my tax-free items are like on the top and all on one side of the bag. So all I have to do is open up my bag and like just take out the things on top, and then any things that are like loose items, they're secured on the other side where they have like the zip compartment. So I try to be really strategic about the way that I've packed. I have 2 outfits for tomorrow, one that I'm going to be wearing in Helsinki and then one that I'm going to be wearing on the flight. So tomorrow my flight is at 8 a.m. I have to leave the hotel at 5 a.m. and then I have like a decent amount of time in Helsinki, and for that I have a specific outfit, and then for my flight from Helsinki to Delhi I have another outfit, just because I know I'm going to be all like walking around all day, gonna be pretty sweaty and stuff. So I just wanted like a different like outfit for the flight. It's kind of an overnight flight. I leave Helsinki at like 6 p.m. and I get into Delhi at 5 a.m. So I just wanted like a fresh set of like really comfy not workout clothes, like sleep loungewear clothes. And I think the first time you're here, Gamla is really nice because you have like this view of the water, at least the hotel that I stayed in, and then you're near this old town, and going through Old Town also is really exciting. However, I found that like just Old Town wasn't as lively as some of the other old towns at nighttime. It seems like Old Town is very touristy, and it's just not where people hang out at nighttime. And like that area again where I was shopping, like H&M and all of that area was just like buzzing with people. So yeah, it's just like a little trade-off. I'm glad that I stayed here on my very first time, just because the view that I had was beautiful, and I love just being able to wake up in the morning. And each morning I did have early morning starts in Old Town, so it worked out perfectly. In the future I might stay somewhere else, but I would say also that kind of after like dinner time, I would say that Old Town does get pretty quiet, except for maybe like 1 or 2 streets that are slightly more lively, but not as lively as we saw some of the other old towns and like the Old Town Square area as well. I'm gonna go to sleep, and tomorrow we will meet again when I reach Helsinki. So if you liked the video, as usual, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't seen some of my other travel vlogs in this part of my trip, I'm gonna have them right over here, so check them out. Or you can also check out this vlog right over here. I think you'll really like it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!